Hello and welcome to the 5-Minute Mystic. And today's 5-Minute Mystic is a bit special because I've got a letter here from Sunil from India, and this is quite a special letter because Sunil has the courage to have written in and communicate what is really quite a deep soul issue for him. And one of the most remarkable things about Sunil and his letter is that it's his journey, his spiritual journey and his karmic journey is very similar to mine. So I salute you, Sunil, for sending this in and having the courage for me to do this and share this for everybody, because this is really a gift for everybody. And I think everybody else watching this, you can learn a lot, because Sunil's journey in many ways is an archetypal human journey, and it reflects many of the soul issues of our times, of the human race at this time in history. Of course, I've changed Sunil's name for this particular video because we don't want to personalise this too much. But Sunil is from India, and this is what he says. And it's a long letter, but it's well worth reading. Here's what he said. It's worth reading in its totality. By the way, Sunil is not a native English speaker, I don't think, from what I can gather. So just forgive him a little bit if his English is not as perfect as a native speaker. He said, "Dear Mr. Marcus Anthony, I'm really glad to write this email because currently I'm reading your book, Discover Your Soul Template. It has provided me a lot of insight." I'm glad to hear that, Sunil. Next part though, maybe not so good. He says, "Okay, I'll tell my story. I must be honest about myself. I got your book in some site only for free. I am in India, especially Southern Indians don't have much money to get direct counselling." Well, of course, I don't have any judgment of that, Sunil. Of course, you'll have 2 lifetimes of bad karma. You'll be back as a cockroach, I'm sure. Just kidding. As I'll explain during the rest of this video, I don't buy the idea of karma as in some popular traditions and some popular spiritual traditions, including some things you might have been exposed to in India. I'll explain that in a moment. Sunil says, "My problem is that I can't talk to people in general, mostly with females and also same energy with males. I'm feeling high pressure in my head and my eyes. I'm feeling fear, shame, low self-esteem, doubt and anxiety every time I interact with women. But I very much love women and sex." Okay. No punishment for that either, where I come from, Sunil. Sunil says, "I'm 33 years old now. For the past 16 years, I've been suffering from the same problem. I don't know how it started in my life, but it hurts me greatly. Almost all the day I'm affected by this great pain. In general, I like to talk to people, particularly women and also men, but I can't do that. I don't have that concentration power because the feeling simply overrides my conscious mind." Well, we've all had that experience, I think. "My face becomes full of tightness and I cannot look at people's faces directly. During the experience, I just want to escape from the situation. Sometimes I talk with people with confidence, and during that time I'm normal, but it only lasts for 1 to 2 hours normally. But in my anxiety time, they're not able to interact with me happily. My eyes become like staring too much. I want to seriously get rid of the problem. Kindly guide me for this soul problem. I'm looking to you as my deepest friend and spiritual teacher. I'm expecting your email of healing power. Sunil." Well, I'm not sure I can send you an email of healing power, Sunil. That kind of reminds me when I was in Taiwan, and Taiwanese people speak Chinese normally, called Guoyu, as they call it in Taiwan, national language. And I was there once, and they had this microwave oven. No, sorry, it wasn't. It was actually a washing machine. And where the button was, where you turned it on, it said push into the button of power. Well, just as if there is no button of power actually in the real world, I'm afraid, Sunil. What I can offer you here, though, is some sound advice, which will really help you on your spiritual journey if you have the courage to accept it. Because your journey is really very, very similar to mine. In fact, your overall karmic energy and biographical energy is about an 80% overlap with mine. So it's kind of interesting how people's connect to teachers that resonate with them. And you probably didn't realise this when you sent me that email, but it's a fact. Okay, so I'm not actually that much different from you. When I was growing up, I had many similar issues. I would have rather have, I don't know, probably jammed my head in the car door rather than speak to a girl when I was a teenager. I was terrified. Okay, so what I've done for you, Sunil, is I've actually looked into your energy field. And this is what I normally do with a reading I give to people when they come to me in person or on Skype. So in this case, I've actually gone a bit deeper than I did for the 5-Minute Mystic and really looked into your soul energy because your story kind of moved me. So within your energy field, the first thing I'll look at is your soul issues, okay? And then I'll look at some of the goals and actions that you can take, and I'll also give you some affirmations and visualizations which will help you. So let's start off with the soul issues. Now, your overall soul issue, or the overall soul story, this is the karmic story really, is that of the scapegoat, or the pariah. You're the person that carries the burden, who gets beaten down and gets all the crap put onto them by other people. And this is the overall message which has been burned into your energy field or your psyche. So this manifests as beliefs or energy structures like I must carry the burden, okay? I have to carry the shame. I'm the one who carries it about. It's all my fault is another one. Now within your biography, which means your personal life in this lifetime, when you're a little boy, I get the energy of quite a lot of beating, especially from your mother, okay? And the message that's gone to you as a child is that you're not my son and you don't deserve to be in the family. So that's quite a strong message to get from parents. You might not have heard that with your ears, but that's the message that you were given through the actions. Because all of us are telepathically imprinted with belief structures from the attitudes that our parents have. Because all minds are connected non-locally. So if someone has the attitude that you're a piece of crap, you're a piece of shit, even if they don't tell you that to your face, and they're your caregiver in childhood, that becomes imprinted on your psyche. And you also come into this lifetime, of course, with the karmic energy. That's the overall soul patterns from previous lives. From what I've seen, previous lives are true. And as an Indian, I'm hoping you'll understand that. Okay, so the karma is I'm the scapegoat or the sacrifice. Now there's also, from a previous life, a strong image of you being locked up in a prison. I'm not sure what the crime was, but the idea is that of restriction. So even if this is a metaphor, it's the idea of being put behind bars, restricted, and being in chains. And now, okay, so the other thing that comes out of this is a very, very strong anger, like a rage, like a murderous rage within yourself, so a strong anger. And that's not a bad thing, Sunil, by the way. You know, I've had a lot of anger in my soul as well. You don't need to be afraid of that. It's just a matter of finding an expression for it to empower you. Actually, that anger is what will empower you and help you break out of that chain, that prison that you've allowed yourself to be in. The other thing is that at an energetic level, you become like a doormat. So you allow other people to use you and for you to be the sacrifice. Okay, that's a pattern that's occurred in your karma. And in particular, this also brings in the idea of wanting to be saved by a woman, wanting a surrogate mother to come in and take your energy and to look after you. But even if you were successful in that goal, Sunil, the kind of woman you would attract to you would be someone who would take your power and push you down and create the same energy pattern. Because that's what happens with these soul stories. They just repeat until we become conscious of them. So there's some essential beliefs that are associated with this story of I'm the scapegoat, I'm the sacrifice. One is that I'm different, I'm less than other people. So you have there's something wrong with me. That's a message that you send to yourself. There's something wrong with me. I'm not right. And that's a rejection of yourself. And you can't really, if you work with that energy in your life, of course, it's going to be very difficult for you to connect with other people when you believe, oh, there's something wrong. What's wrong with me? So you have to be able to acknowledge the fact that you do have some soul issues and things you need to work on, but you're still beautiful just as you are. You're still a perfect human being, even in your imperfection. Okay. Now, the other thing that's been imprinted on your psyche is the idea that I'm bad. I'm a bad person. I take this shame. I'm a piece of shit, basically. And there's a lot of sexual shame there as well within your body. Now, sexual shame happens unconsciously when a parent puts their unresolved issues with sexuality onto you. So the message there is that you're dirty, and you're dirty for being a man. Being a man is bad, and you shouldn't express your sexuality. That's dirty, and it's certainly dirty having one of those things down there. So when that is embedded into your body, then it becomes very difficult to function sexually and to believe that you're attractive, and that it's a good thing to be able to engage with women sexually. I'm small is the other one. Like, I'm just a small person. I don't count. I'm sorry that I'm here. So there's the part of you that's apologizing just for being a human being. I'm sorry. You know. So again, that's a symptom of lower self-esteem. I'm filthy. I'm the untouchable one. Okay. This may be part of your karma as well. I get the sense of you being having some sort of skin disorder in a previous incarnation, like being a leper or something like that, and just feeling disgusted with your body. So that might be something you might need to look at. I'm hoping this lifetime you don't have a condition like that, but in some previous lifetime it was if there was something untouchable or filthy about you. Maybe you may have even been an untouchable in the Indian caste system. Okay. Now the other thing is that because of all this hurt that's come from parents beating, this idea of physical beating, is that you believe you have to protect yourself from other people. You've got to put an armour around yourself. And that's one of the reasons why you start to freeze up when you're around women. And that's just a natural reaction of the ego to protect itself. So actually, that's a kind of courageous thing. You're trying to protect your hurt little boy from being wounded and beaten up by other people. And there is actually some good reason to do that, because you will tend to attract those kind of relationships. So another belief is that I'm a servant. I have to be the slave. So I'm at the bottom of the pile. And that also leads to wanting to seek approval from other people. Am I okay? Am I okay? You know, do you think I'm okay? So maybe if you're interacting with women for 1 or 2 hours, you're still looking for that message that I'm not good. And then as soon as that message comes, oh, that's right. I'm not good. I'm ugly. I'm not lovable. So these are the belief structures. Okay. Now, so that's the overall karmic pattern. Now, this is not who you are. It's just the story, the karmic story, which your soul has become entrapped in a way, in the idea of karma. So karma, as I see it, it's not a punishment, Samuel. It's just a story or a set of belief structures that your soul has entrapped itself in. So the first thing you need to do is just gently and lovingly acknowledge that this pattern is a part of how you express yourself in this lifetime. And it will go back several lifetimes. But what a wonderful thing it is to have seen this. This is your moment where your soul begins to set itself free, once you see the pattern. And the pattern in itself may not free you immediately, but it's the beginning. Okay. Now, and the reason that just recognizing the story won't necessarily free you is because there'll be trapped pain and hurt within your spirit. So that's in a way why you're trying to escape. You know, I want to get rid of this. How do I get rid of it? In fact, trying to get rid of it, or trying to push it away and trying to become something else or something better, that is what will actually entrap you within the story. What you actually have to do, instead of trying to push it away, you actually have to bring it closer to you. Allow yourself to relax into being all that you are. So that wounded child within you, the one that's been rejected and bullied, that karmic little boy that's been, so sadly left on the outside, you have to bring him into you, and you be the parent to that little boy, okay? You be the one. You be the one that gives the love and the light. And as you do that, and as you bring that light into yourself, and as you love that part of yourself, and you would have read this in my book about the inner child, right? The light of God will start to shine in you. Because that's the natural state of who you are. That's your true story, Sunil. That's who you are. You're actually a beautiful and empowered and wise human being. And that's a story that I can see unfolding in your next level of the story. Okay? That's what I see. You have a lot more power, a lot more wisdom than you realise at this moment. I think you perhaps do realise at a certain level that there's something there quite wonderful. Just a matter of slowly moving towards the next steps. Just a little bit at a time. Just a little bit of what you can handle. You can't do it all at once. Because your story, your soul issues are quite big, okay? I've got to tell you this. Your life story is not an easy one. But there's some truth to the idea that God only gives the toughest lessons to the best students. So as you heal this part of yourself, as you come to allow it and embrace it and parent it, you become quite a powerful human being. That's the truth, Sunil. Maybe you don't see that, but that is exactly what will happen. And then people will start to come to you. Because there's so much of this within the story of India.